Active Directory, AD, is a vital component of modern network infrastructure that plays a pivotal role in managing and organizing resources within a Windows-based environment. Developed by Microsoft, Active Directory serves as a centralized and hierarchical database that stores information about network resources such as users, computers, printers, and security policies. This directory service provides a comprehensive set of tools and features to efficiently manage and secure the network, making it an indispensable tool for organizations of all sizes. At its core, Active Directory serves as a directory service, allowing administrators to create a logical representation of the entire network infrastructure. This logical representation is structured in a hierarchical manner, with each element organized in a specific order. The key building blocks of Active Directory include domains, trees, and forests. A domain represents a collection of objects, such as users, computers, and shared resources, that share a common security policy and administrative authority. Multiple domains can be combined to form a tree, which is a collection of related domains sharing a contiguous namespace. Lastly, a forest is a collection of one or more trees that share a common schema and global catalog. One of the primary purposes of Active Directory is to provide a centralized authentication and authorization mechanism. By utilizing Active Directory, users can log into their computers and access network resources with a single set of credentials. This streamlines the authentication process, improves security, and simplifies user management. Additionally, Active Directory enables administrators to assign permissions and access rights to users and groups, allowing them to control resource accessibility based on user roles and responsibilities. Furthermore, Active Directory offers a wide range of features and services, including group policy management, DNS integration, and replication. Group policies enable administrators to enforce security policies, configure settings, and distribute software packages across the network, ensuring consistency and standardization. DNS integration facilitates name resolution within the network, enabling users to access resources by their unique names. Replication ensures that changes made to the directory are synchronized across all domain controllers, enhancing fault tolerance and availability. By providing a centralized repository for storing and organizing network resources, Active Directory empowers organizations to efficiently manage user accounts, computers, and security policies, ultimately contributing to a more secure and streamlined network infrastructure. Active Directory, AD, operates on a technical level by employing a combination of components, protocols, and services to facilitate the management, authentication, and authorization of resources within a Windows-based network environment. Let's explore the key technical aspects of how Active Directory works. At the heart of Active Directory is the Domain Controller, DC. A domain controller is a server that runs the Windows Server operating system and hosts a copy of the Active Directory database. The database stores information about the network's objects, such as users, groups, computers, and organizational units. Each domain controller in a domain holds a replica of the database, ensuring redundancy and fault tolerance. Active Directory uses the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, LDAP, as its primary protocol for communication and accessing directory information. LDAP provides a standardized and efficient means of querying and modifying the Active Directory database. Clients, such as computers and applications, can interact with the domain controllers using LDAP to retrieve information, authenticate users, and perform directory-related operations. The directory structure in Active Directory is organized hierarchically. The primary unit of organization is the domain, which represents a logical boundary within the network. Domains are grouped together to form a tree structure, with a single domain acting as the root of the tree. The tree structure allows for the creation of a hierarchical namespace, where each domain has a unique name and shares a common security policy and administrative authority. Multiple trees can be combined to form a forest. A forest represents a collection of one or more trees that share a common schema and global catalog. The schema defines the structure and attributes of objects in the directory, while the global catalog is a distributed data store that contains a subset of information from all domains within the forest. The global catalog facilitates quick and efficient searches across the entire forest. Active Directory relies on trust relationships to establish secure communication and resource sharing between domains and forests. Trusts define the authentication and authorization boundaries between domains, allowing users in one domain to access resources in another. Trusts can be transitive, where they extend beyond two domains, or non-transitive, limited to a specific pair of domains. Active Directory also incorporates the concept of organizational units, US, which are containers used for organizing and managing objects within a domain. US provide a means to apply specific policies, permissions, and group memberships to groups of objects. They allow for the delegation of administrative tasks and provide a way to logically group objects based on organizational or administrative needs. Furthermore, Active Directory leverages group policies to enforce consistent security settings and configurations across the network. Group policies are a collection of settings that control the behavior of user accounts and computers. They can be applied at various levels, such as domains, OS, or individual objects, and are processed by client computers to enforce desired configurations, security settings, and software deployment. Active Directory relies on replication to ensure that changes made to the directory are synchronized across all domain controllers within a domain or forest. Replication ensures fault tolerance, high availability, and consistent directory information. Domain controllers use a multi-master replication model, where each domain controller can make changes to the directory and replicate those changes to other domain controllers. In summary, Active Directory operates on a technical level by utilizing domain controllers, LDAP, hierarchical structures, trust relationships, organizational units, group policies, and replication. These components and protocols work together to provide efficient management, authentication, and authorization of network resources in Windows-based environments. Active Directory's technical architecture and services contribute to the secure, scalable, and centralized management of user accounts, groups, computers, and policies within organizations. While Active Directory, AD, is a powerful and widely used directory service, it is not immune to potential security risks. Attackers continuously seek vulnerabilities and exploit them to gain unauthorized access, escalate privileges, or disrupt operations within an organization. Understanding the potential attack vectors and vulnerabilities associated with Active Directory is crucial for implementing effective security measures. Here are some common ways Active Directory can be exploited or attacked. Credential-based attacks. Attackers often employ techniques like password cracking, brute force attacks, or phishing to obtain valid credentials. Once they gain access to a user's credentials, they can impersonate that user, move laterally through the network, and access sensitive resources. Kerberos attacks. Kerberos is the authentication protocol used in Active Directory environments. Attackers can attempt to compromise Kerberos tickets or exploit vulnerabilities in its implementation to gain unauthorized access or bypass authentication mechanisms. Privilege escalation. Active Directory's hierarchical structure and delegation capabilities can become a target for attackers looking to escalate privileges. By compromising the credentials of a low-level user or exploiting misconfigurations, attackers can elevate their privileges and gain administrative access. Domain controller compromise. Domain controllers serve as the backbone of Active Directory, making them high-value targets for attackers. If an attacker successfully compromises a domain controller, they can gain full control over the entire Active Directory environment, allowing them to manipulate or extract sensitive information. Malware and ransomware. Malicious software can target Active Directory infrastructure to propagate, harvest credentials, or disrupt services. Ransomware attacks specifically encrypt critical data within the Active Directory environment, rendering it inaccessible until a ransom is paid. Active Directory replication attacks. Active Directory replication is designed to maintain consistent and up-to-date directory information across domain controllers. However, attackers can exploit vulnerabilities in the replication process to inject malicious changes, leading to unauthorized modifications or disruptions. Group policy manipulation. Group policies define and enforce security settings throughout the Active Directory environment. If attackers gain control over group policies, They can modify them to weaken security measures, disable security controls, or distribute malicious software across the network. Domain trust exploitation. Trust relationships between domains can be exploited if misconfigured or weakly secured. Attackers can abuse trust relationships to gain unauthorized access to resources in trusted domains or perform lateral movement within the network. Active Directory enumeration. Attackers may attempt to gather detailed information about Active Directory, such as user accounts, group memberships, or organizational units through enumeration techniques. This information can be used to plan targeted attacks, identify high-value targets, or exploit misconfigurations. To mitigate these risks and protect Active Directory, organizations should implement robust security practices. This includes enforcing strong password policies, implementing multi-factor authentication, regularly patching and updating systems, monitoring and analyzing logs for suspicious activities, conducting regular security audits, and educating users about potential threats and best practices. Furthermore, deploying security solutions such as intrusion detection and prevention systems, endpoint protection, privileged access management, and security information and event management (SIM) can help detect and respond to potential attacks on Active Directory. By understanding the vulnerabilities and attack vectors that threaten Active Directory, organizations can take proactive steps to secure their directory services and protect the integrity, availability, and confidentiality of their network resources. Protecting Active Directory, a DA, is paramount for maintaining the security and integrity of network resources. By implementing a combination of preventive and detective measures, organizations can fortify their AD infrastructure against potential attacks and mitigate security risks. Here are some essential steps to protect Active Directory. Secure administrative accounts. Implement strong password policies for administrative accounts. Enforce multi-factor authentication, MFA, and regularly rotate passwords. Use separate accounts for administrative tasks, limiting their usage to designated personnel and systems. Apply least privilege principle. Follow the principle of least privilege by assigning permissions and privileges to user accounts, groups, and service accounts based on their specific needs. Regularly review and audit permissions to ensure they are aligned with job roles and responsibilities. Implement group policies. Utilize group policy objects, GPOs, to enforce security settings and configurations across the AD environment. Apply consistent security baselines, disable unnecessary services, and restrict user rights to minimize attack surface. Patch management. Stay current with security updates and patches provided by Microsoft. Regularly patch and update domain controllers, operating systems, and applications to address known vulnerabilities and protect against emerging threats. Implement strong authentication. Enable and enforce strong authentication mechanisms such as smart cards or biometrics, in addition to passwords. Implement MFA for all user accounts, especially privileged accounts, to add an extra layer of security. Enable audit logging and monitoring. Enable audit logging within Active Directory and configure monitoring systems to collect and analyze relevant logs. Monitor for suspicious activities such as failed logins, account lockouts, privilege escalations, or unusual access patterns. Harden domain controllers. Follow security best practices to harden domain controllers. This includes disabling unnecessary services, securing DNS configurations, enabling security features like LDAP signing and channel binding, and utilizing secure communication protocols like LDAPS. Limit exposure of domain controllers, restrict physical and network access to domain controllers. Place domain controllers in secure locations with restricted physical access and implement network segmentation to isolate them from untrusted networks. Implement privileged access management, PAM. Utilize PAM solutions to tightly control and monitor privileged access to Active Directory. Implement just-in-time, JIT access, session recording, and approval workflows to minimize the exposure and misuse of privileged accounts. Regular security assessments and audits. Conduct regular security assessments, penetration testing, and audits of Active Directory infrastructure. Identify and address vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, and potential weaknesses proactively. User awareness and training. Educate users about security best practices, such as avoiding phishing scams, using strong passwords, and recognizing social engineering techniques. Regularly train users on the importance of safeguarding their credentials and reporting suspicious activities. Backup and disaster recovery. Implement regular and secure backups of Active Directory data, including system state backups. Test the restoration process to ensure data recoverability in case of a security incident or system failure. Security Incident Response Plan. Develop a comprehensive incident response plan specifically tailored to Active Directory security incidents. Define roles, responsibilities, and processes to detect, respond to, and recover from potential attacks effectively. By implementing these measures, organizations can enhance the security posture of Active Directory and protect against potential threats and vulnerabilities. A multi-layered approach, combining preventive controls, user awareness, monitoring, and incident response, is crucial to safeguarding the integrity, availability, and confidentiality of Active Directory resources. In conclusion, Active Directory, a DA, is a powerful and critical component of network infrastructure, providing centralized management, authentication, and authorization services within Windows-based environments. However, like any complex system, a D is not immune to potential risks and attacks. Understanding the vulnerabilities and attack vectors associated with a D is crucial for implementing robust security measures to protect this critical asset.